Good morning everybody and welcome to Emerald Cottage. My name's Jill and I love to crochet, craft, knit, sew, do all the things basically. Today is Saturday the 4th, no it's not, that's a lie, it's Sunday the 5th of October already. It's feeling very autumnal here, it's very bright as you can probably see reflected in my glasses, so sorry about that. But beautiful autumnal day, the leaves are turning and it's just, it's gorgeous here. I think we're post-storm Amy, which ravaged a lot of the country yesterday, so I hope everybody's keeping safe out there. What have I got to show you today? So my first thing today I want to show you is, well actually the first thing I should say is, on my last video, so thank you very much if you watched it, I said that I'd be doing a video about all my autumn makes. Haven't done that yet, so you'll have to wait for that one. This is just a regular podcast about my regular makes. So the first thing I wanted to tell you was I've got a quick shop update, which is, as I mentioned before, I think I've pulled out of the shop. I'm not selling there anymore. I wasn't making any money. It was pointless. I did think about staying over to Christmas and seeing if Christmas could kind of compensate for the losses I'd made already, but it would have had to have been really successful Christmas and I just didn't see it happening, so I decided to pull out. So it's a bit sad, but you know, it's not the end of the world. But I popped round to the shop the other day to collect my stock, so I've got this massive bag of toys now, ready for my craft fairs in December and November. A couple that I haven't shown you before, I don't think, which are this little fox here. No, not fox, wolf. Oh, look, isn't he cute? He's so cute. So that's my little wolf. And I've got, from the same pattern, I've got a fox in here somewhere. Yeah, there we go, Mr. Fox. So you can see they're from the same pattern, just different colours. But aren't they cute? So sweet. They're my more expensive item and I haven't sold because I don't know why. Who wouldn't want a lovely cuddly wolf? They're just so cute. So that's my bag of toys from the shop. So it's being added to my craft fair stock. And the annoying thing is I'll have to relabel all of them because the labels, oh, I must show you my labels. These are my labels with my logo on them. The shop, two things about the shop. You have to put your seller number on it, so I'm number 58. So when someone brings that to the till, they can tell which seller to attribute the money towards. So that needs to come off, and I also mark the price up for the shop because obviously I've got to pay them commission, so I've got to break even somehow. So I mark my prices up, so they've got to come off. And if I try and pull the prices off these labels, they just rip. So I've got to make all new labels for them, so that's a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Right, so what have I got to show you today? So I've got lots of finished objects. I've had a really successful couple of weeks. I've got a few whips. I've got some stash enhancement to show you. So let's crack on with it, shall we? Right, first finished object is tiny, cute little sunflower card that I made for my mum. Just really sweet little cross-stitch kit. I've had it in my stash for years. And it's one of those things you just never get around to making, like a lot of my stash, to be honest. And I just saw it one day and thought, I'm going to make that. So there we are, a little sunflower card. I'm just going to send that to my mum to cheer her up. She's been a lot to the dentist lately. She's feeling a bit rough with the dentist. So, yeah, I thought I'd send her that little card. My next finished object is two little cross stitches that I've done for my kids. So the first one is this little one here. Look, sweet. Oh, excuse my nails, by the way. They've not been done at the minute. The nail technician said they were too dry and wouldn't put any gel back on them. No fun. So I've got naked nails at the minute and I hate them. So hopefully next week I'll get them done. Anyway, yes, so I've got this little cross stitch, a little ghosty walking a dog, and I made that for my daughter. And then I made this matching one of the little ghosty eating popcorn, watching a horror movie for my son, because he's a real horror movie addict. So I thought that'd be quite nice for him for his bedroom. So I made those two little cuties. They were very quick to work up. They were patterned by, I'll have to put it in the notes below because I've forgotten, and it's on my phone, which I'm recording on, so I can't get access to it right at this moment in time. Actually, I might be able to. Would I be able to? No, can't. Definitely can't. Sorry. So yes, those are both ready for the kids to hang up in their bedrooms. Then I finished my 2-year-long stitch along, which is this one here. That's better, isn't it? It's a bit crumpled, but you get the idea. So it's all little stitching motifs. I think it's called Stitcher's Paradise, and it was a pattern by Doreen Jones, and it was featured in World of Cross Stitching magazine last year. You can still buy back issues of it if you want it, but it was a 12-part series over the year. It ran from like December 23 to December 24 or something like that. And I was keeping up with it really well until August last year, like a whole year ago. I just lost interest with it. I don't quite know what happened. Anyway, I picked it up again about 2 weeks ago and I was determined to finish it. So I've really worked hard on this over the last couple of weeks. So there we go, my Stitcher's Paradise cross stitch. Isn't it gorgeous? So I'm going to frame that somehow and hang it in my craft room, I think. I love it. So my favourite day was all the little spools of thread. I think they're so cute. Loved it. Yeah, really lovely one to do. Oh, the border. Oh my God, the border was just a nightmare. So can you see how detailed the border is? Lots of fiddly bits with not very much continuity between colours. So really hard to do. Thankfully, you did it as you went along. So it wasn't like you didn't suddenly do the whole border all at once at the end or anything. It was do it as you go along. So it wasn't too bad in that respect. But yeah, there it is. Beautiful, if I do say so myself. So that's that one. Then I made this little pumpkin bear. Oh, how cute is he? Although he's got a moustache and it's not meant to be a moustache. But anyway, let's ignore that. He's got his little arms and his little pumpkin head and his little pumpkin belly. So cute. So he was a pattern from a magazine that I don't have to hand. It was a oh, Jill, get your words out. It was a what's the word? Supplement. That's what I'm looking for. It's a supplement that came with Crochet Now, I believe. And it was just this little pumpkin bear, very cute. So I made him I'm on a Facebook group. So my kids have had various mental health challenges over the years. So I'm on a Facebook group called Parenting Mental Health, and they have a sort of subgroup called Parenting Mental Health Crafts, Creations and Hobbies. And every month they do a monthly challenge where you get to enter a craft type project and it gets voted on or something. Not quite sure how the voting works. And then they have a crafter of the month, and the crafters of the month go forward to crafter of the year at the end of the year. And there's no prize, it's just for the glory really. And I entered him in the September monthly challenge. The theme was orange and I won. So I'm going forward to crafter of the year. So that's exciting. So we're very pleased with that. So yeah, he's very cute. So my little pumpkin bear, which I think my son's going to have now that he's done. Then my next finished object is my plate of pumpkins. Look at these. Oh, look at those. Aren't they gorgeous? Just so cute. So this was a pattern by Hobbycraft. Free pattern. Dead easy. You chain 17 and then you just work rows of half trebles. And then that makes a rectangle. And then you just cinch in, you sew it together so it makes a cylinder, and then you cinch in the bottom and the top and then do a little stalk. It's really easy, and they make these cute little pumpkins. They're not the most exciting pumpkins ever, and there are a lot more nicer patterns out there, but for a freebie I don't think that was too bad, and they're very easy to and quick to work up. You can, they're pretty mindless. The fiddly bit is stalk obviously, but that's, I just made a dozen of them and then made a dozen stalks all at once, and it didn't take very long at all. So I've got them on my lovely pumpkin plate. Isn't that cute? So yeah, that's my pile of pumpkins. Next we've got my, oh yeah, what I'm wearing, my navy cardigan. So this was a pattern by, actually there was no designer attributed to it. It was a pattern in People's Friend magazine, I want to say, which my mum sent me. She sent me the pattern. It was called Minty Fresh cardigan. Yeah, so it's this pattern here, so you can see there. It's a very plain cardigan. There's no button band or anything like that. There's not very much shaping to it. It's very simple, very easy to do, and very quick to do as well, which is an absolute winner for me. I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to fiddly garments. So yeah, that was my Minty Fresh cardigan. And I'll just stand up and give you a quick twirl. So there we have it. It's lovely, isn't it? I'm really pleased with it. Do a quick twirl. Really happy with it. I think it sits really nicely on me and it's very cozy. Yeah, I love it. The sleeves are a bit big, but that's okay. They're just Again, there's no decreasing in the sleeves, so it's just a rectangle. You can see, very easy to do, very easy. Pattern was just essentially a granny stitch pattern, and then the back was just a rectangle, and the front was almost a rectangle, but with some decreases up the front here to create the kind of neckline, and then it's just finished with a round of single crochet. I think the pattern called for a slip stitch all the way around. I think let's look. Yes, the pattern called for slip stitch all the way around, but I don't like doing slip stitch. It makes it really tight for me, so I just did single crochet all the way around. And yeah, I love it. It's very cozy. A bit too cozy. It's making me very warm today, so I'm going to take it off. So anyway, that's my minty fresh cardigan that I've done in navy blue. Then my next finished object was my South Bay shawlette. Finished it. Yay! I'm absolutely on a roll this week, honestly. So this is it here, and you can see the beautiful gradient. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that. Really lovely gradient colour. It was made using a pattern from Lion brand, free pattern again. Love my free patterns. Which is not said, I'm not averse to buying a pattern, but I do a lot of free patterns. By Lion brand from their website, so I'll try and link it below for you. And very simple pattern, 2-row repeat. Let's see if I can show you the tail end of the end section of it. You can see there it's just a 2-row repeat, so very simple to do. One of the rows in particular was easy, but I kept making mistakes, and then I have to rip back the whole length of, you know, that whole length times 2. Oh, so annoying. So yeah, lots of mistakes made, so it probably took me twice as long as it should have, but I absolutely love it. I'm really pleased with the outcome of it, and I'll be wearing it like this. So like that, and you get to see the gradient beautifully there, and I love it. It's really cozy, and it's just, yeah, beautiful. I just love the colours. Love the colours. It was made with a sweet peas whirl in the colour Jade Jim Jam, I want to say. I lost the label, don't know where the label's gone, but I think it was called Jade Jim Jam, and the whirls are 200 grams, so you could make the shawl with any 200 grams of any kind of, it's like a sort of fingering weight, sort weight type yarn, sort of 4-ply, quite light. Doesn't grow very quickly because it's obviously small stitches, because you're using I used a 3.5mm hook. So yes, quite small, grows quite slowly, which is a tiny bit frustrating, but it's such a beautiful end result that it's worth it, definitely. So that's my South Bay shawlette. One more finished item, which was these cute little mitts. So those are called the ammonite mitts, and these are they. They're sisters, not twins, so you can see they're not exactly the same because I've kind of messed up slightly. So my first mess up was, can you see on this one here, there's like a sort of ridge around the bottom, and on this one here there is no ridge around the bottom. Can you see? Very subtle difference. So obviously when I worked one mitt, I worked into one part of the stitch. When I worked into the other mitt, I worked into the other part of the stitch. So not quite sure what I've done wrong, but I know to watch out for that next time, because there will be a next time, because these are for my friend Nikki, who volunteers for a museum, I think, and she was looking for someone to make some of these that they can sell as fundraising items, because obviously it's got the ammonite as the kind of like, you know, bit of a kind of natural history type nod. The pattern was by now, because she did send me it, something like Off the Hook Crochet, or oh, I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen. But I modified the pattern massively. So the pattern had some really, I thought, a complicated cross stitching of you kept working a single crochet into the stitch behind the one you just worked, so it was kind of crisscrossing over itself, which looked okay, but to my mind it was just too overly complicated, so I just did a very simple double crochet the whole way around. Or was it half double crochet? Gosh, I can't remember now. I wonder if I wrote it down somewhere. I think it was half treble. Yeah, half treble crochet I think it was. I just did rounds of half treble crochet, and then just left a gap for the thumb. So I'll put them on for you and show you them on. And then just appliqued on the ammonite at the end, and I followed the ammonite from the pattern, and that's them on. So they're really cute, aren't they? Really sweet. So I don't know how much they'll sell them for at the museum, and she wants a whole load of them made, so I'll be making more of those over the next few weeks. And I just sew this little button on, which I actually got in a charity shop. So handmade with love, and I bought 20 of them for £1 or something in a charity shop, so they're cute. The ammonite was very simple to do. It was basically you make a long strip. Hang on, get the right around, Jill. You make a long strip, and then you curl it and sew it together, and then you just applique it on, and they come out really well. So very pleased with those. Haven't dropped them off yet because she's on holiday, so I need to drop those off to her at some point when she's back. So that's that. I think that's all my finished objects for now. That was quite good, wasn't it? So that was, if you count the 2 cross stitches as 2, and you count this as 1, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not bad, is it? 8, I'm quite pleased with that. I've been very productive in the last couple of weeks. Don't feel as if I've been working any more than I had before, so I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I'll take it. Right, works in progress, whips. So the first one I want to show you, oh God, it's so annoying. So this is my Satsuma Street Sal stitch along, which I think I showed you before. You can just about see what I've done there. And I started on part 3 of this last night, and I worked this little blue section here. And then I realised it's all wrong, so it's all off by 1 square, which doesn't sound like much, but it means that the picture won't fit if I don't rectify it. So I'm having to unpick all that, which doesn't look like very much, but oh my God, it's such a pain to unpick. So I'm doing that at the minute. Just as you can see, it's got some thready threads hanging off it. So yeah, so basically once I've unpicked that, all the progress I've made is about 10 stitches there. So not much progress made on that. But to be fair, the part 3 only came out last Friday. Today's Sunday. Part 3 came out on Friday, and I was busy finishing the Doreen Jones Stitcher's Paradise one. So I wanted to get that finished first, really, and then start on this. So I've still got 12 days to finish this before the next part comes out. So I'm doing all right. So it's my Satsuma Street Stitch Along. I think it was a paid for one. I think it was like £16, and that gets you all 6 parts. You obviously have to provide the materials yourself, but I've got a big stash of flosses, just like I've got a big stash of everything. Yeah, let's not talk about that. So yeah, so £16 I think it was for the pattern, and I'll show you quickly, very briefly, just like quickly see. It's got penguins and snowmen, and that's and all I'm going to show you because it's a chart, so I don't want to show you properly because that would be not fair on the designer. Not quite sure what the designer's name is. I could look it up, I suppose, but I haven't looked it up yet. So if I do look it up and I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. But it's Satsuma Street is the name of the business name. So yeah, so that's my stitch along. That's not coming along very well. Very, very frustrating that. So basically what happened was I couldn't sleep last night. So I got up at like 2 in the morning and thought I'd come down and do a bit of cross stitch. Did all that. Then I realised I made a mistake. I was like, oh, I've sat here at bloody 2 in the morning doing that. So annoying. So anyway, I'll redo it. It'll be fine. Just waste a bit of time, doesn't it? And a bit of thread. Not the end of the world. My second whip is this blanket. So I don't know if you remember back in like, oh, when was it? Was it last Christmas? I think it was last Christmas. I was a chap online on my local Facebook group whose wife had passed away very sadly, and he was looking for someone to finish a blanket that she'd been making for their goddaughter or great niece or something, and he was looking for someone to finish the blanket for him so he could gift it to the great niece or whatever it was for Christmas. In fact, yes, so it was Christmas last year. So I said I would do it for him. So I met up with him. He gave me the blanket. He gave me a load of other bits and pieces of her craft things. And we've struck up quite a good friendship, actually, because he is an artist. He's an urban sketcher. So he goes and sits actually in situ sketching buildings. And he travels the world with it. He's an amazing man. Considering he only lost his wife last year, he's really thrown himself into life, and he's getting on with it, and I really admire him for that. He's a lovely chap. So he's borrowed he does craft fairs with his art stuff, so he's borrowed my craft table and my card racks and things a couple of times, and I've been along to the shows that he's done and seen him, and he's been around here for coffee, and yeah, he's lovely. So anyway, one of the bags of stuff that he gave me that has been his wife's was a stack of these squares that she'd done. So I've taken them and joined them into the blanket. So this is all her work, apart from the joining, really. So look at the colours, glorious. She's a beautiful crocheter. Her work's absolutely gorgeous. And what I've done is I didn't have the right colour of yarn, so I've taken 2 squares that didn't have the last round on them and rounded them in black. Can you see just there? That's black. You can only just see. In fact, you can't really see. If I hold it close up, you can see the top one is edged in brown, the bottom one's edged in black. Can you see that? Don't know. Anyway, I thought black was close enough, and then I've joined them in black. And I thought that was it. I was sort of thinking that I've done that now, but actually I want to put a border on it, so I have bought some brown yarn, which I'm not sure is the right colour of brown, but anyway, I want to put a border on it to just finish it off. But that's Sheila's blanket, which is beautiful. So I'll be finishing that in the next couple of weeks. And I asked my friend Mo if he wanted it, and he said no, just donate it to charity. So it's going to my local hospital after this, once it's finished. I go to a group every month called Blankets Made with Love, and we make blankets for the local hospital. It's a group of about 20 of us, I think, and some of the ladies there, just all they make is hospital blankets, and they're incredible. The amount of work they produce is just, the only word for it is incredible, because it's unbelievable. And every month the lady who coordinates the group drops off a load of blankets to the hospital, and they get used for obviously the patients, and some of them are used for babies, some are used for elderly people, just a real mixture. Some are used for chemotherapy patients. So yeah, so it's a very worthwhile cause, and it's a great group to go to. I really enjoyed meeting all the other ladies as well. So that's that. In fact, my other whip blanket is my hospital blanket, the current one. Sorry, just trying to grab it, which is a corner to corner blanket. It's very plain. I'm doing it in this blue yarn, which has got a blank ball band. It was from eBay, so no idea what it is. It's like a sort of Aran weight, and I'm doing this plain corner to corner, which is coming out really nicely because of the colour changing yarn. You can see there it's sort of almost stripy, which is lovely. It's just corner to corner, so it's very easy. And that's my hospital blanket, so not much to see there really, but that's what I work on for the hospital. So that's my hospital blanket. I've covered my notes up with Sheila's blanket, so that's so good. I can't see what I'm doing now. Just gonna have a quick sip of tea. Do you like my mug? Crochet is my happy place, and it matches my scarf leg. Oh, it's also gone cold, so I'm just gonna down it. Oh, that was a bit much at once. Right. Where did I get to? So my next whip is I'm making another South Bay shawlette. Why are you doing that, Jill? I hear you ask. This was the South Bay shawlette, remember? Well, the reason I'm doing it is because it's so easy. So I got this lovely yarn. I'll show you. Absolutely beautiful. From my friend for my birthday, my lovely yarny friend Julie. Hi Julie, if you're watching. Julie gave me 2 skeins of this lovely James Makes yarn. The colourway is Catch Me by the Pool. It is 75% merino, 25% nylon, and it's 100 grams, and she bought me 2 skeins of it. So I'm working my way through the first skein of it, and this is my progress so far, and look how it's coming out. The colours are just beautiful. Look at that. Lovely. very autumnal actually. The kind of goldens and the golden and the orange, and oh, it's just lovely. That looks very summery, but I think that looks quite autumnal. So yeah, it's working out really beautifully. It's lovely yarn to work with. And again, it's the South Bay Shawlette pattern by Lion Brand, which is dead easy, like so easy. I really recommend that pattern. It's a great one if you've got 2 skeins of yarn. Works up a really good size. And just it's just a really enjoyable pattern. So I just thought I'm just going to make the South Bay Shawlette again in a different yarn. And I'm using a 3.5mm hook. 3.5mm hook for that. So that's my lovely yarny friend Julie's yarn. Next up we have, try and say this when you're drunk, fantail shell stitch fingerless gloves. Fantail shell stitch fingerless gloves. And this is a free crochet pattern by Hooked by Robin. And you can only just see them there in the picture. And I have done one mitt or one glove. I'm not going to rave about this pattern, sorry Robin. The glove's lovely, but I have a few issues with the pattern, but it is free, so bear that in mind, you know. It's a better pattern than I could write, put it that way. I don't know why I'm criticising it, but anyway, what are the issues I have with this pattern? So let me try on what I've done so far and show you. So that's the glove so far. I've actually just finished it, but I need some sewing up to do. So it's quite nice. It's got a lovely shell pattern, so it's a bit different. And I did this to match my pink scarf. This was part of my frog or finish from a couple of episodes ago, if you remember. So I asked you what to do with the scarf, whether to increase it, stop where it was, or rip it back. And I decided to stop where it was and use the excess yarn to make these gloves. So my issues with the pattern, right. So first of all, well, not first of all, she doesn't tell you what, well, not that I can see anyway, she doesn't tell you what yarn or hook size she used. So I obviously was using this yarn. So I used a 5mm hook, which is in here, 5mm hook. And the pattern said 28 chains to start with. I chained 34 because 28 was too small. So I had to modify the number of starting chains. So that was the first thing. Then the next thing was when you start the shells. So that was fine until I got up to here. I just did half double crochets or trebles or something the whole way. And then you start the shell stitch. Obviously, because the stitch count is different, you fit a different number of shells in. So I had to sort of finagle that a bit. I did a bit of jiggery pokery to do that. And that was fine until I got to the thumb hole, because again, you're working in the round. And then I got to the thumb hole and you leave a gap for the thumb, which is fine. And then I don't understand why, but she gets you working in rows rather than rounds. So you turn, you don't turn, you get switched back and forth. No, you do turn. Sorry, what am I saying? You do turn. You turn at the end of each row and work back in the direction, and then turn and work back in the direction, which basically gives you this big gap. I just happen to have joined it at the top. Let's see if I can unjoin it and show you what I mean. There, so basically you get this. Because you work a shell stitch row, then you turn and work back, and then you turn and work back. So you're never joining the rounds together. And then nowhere in the pattern does it say that you have to seam that up at the end, which obviously you do. I don't understand. It might just be me. Again, I don't want to diss a pattern designer because it's a better pattern than I could have designed. I don't understand why you can't just work in rounds anyway, just not go around as far and just leave that gap for the thumb. So that was a bit confusing. And then the other thing was it was too long. So I stopped with, I think, 3 rounds to go. So you can see that on my hand, I mean, my hands are, they're small, but they're not excessively small. If I kept going, that would be up to my fingertips and it would just be too much. So I stopped with 3 rounds to go and I've got to hem that up. So having said that, I've got issues with the pattern. It was, you know, it was okay. It was all right. And I just, yeah, it was okay. I like the end result, apart from the fact I've got to seam it up. But I think they're quite cute. The shell pattern is quite interesting. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. Fantail shell stitch fingerless gloves. And I feel, it's really complicated, isn't it? I feel really bad saying anything negative about a pattern, especially when it's free. Sorry about that. That was my son coming to say hello. I've taken the opportunity to make another cup of tea, which is very nice. Yes, as I was saying, I feel really bad saying anything negative about a pattern that's free, because the designer has, you know, produced that and there's no charge to anybody, and I just think it's an amazing thing to do. But I did have issues with it, so there we go. But that's my one scarf, my one mitt that I've made, so I need to make the other one, so that's my other work in progress. And that was by Hooked by Robin. I think that's all my works in progress. I think that's all of them at the minute. Well, it's not all of them. I've got loads more, but they're the ones I'm actively working on. Who remembers Cracking the Whip? Who remembers that? So I did a series, not a series, but a segment in my episodes last year where I would take a whip and promise to finish it for the next, I promise to have worked on it anyway. Sorry, the angle's changed. I promise to have worked on it for the next episode. And I think the one I'm going to do for that is this shawl here, Superbus Skywave yarn. So this pattern, oh my god, what was it? I'm going to have to hope it's somewhere in here. Is that it there? Yes, the Trillium shawl. Oh, that was lucky, wasn't it? The Trillium shawl, which looks like it's, again, a 2-row repeat with puff stitches in it. It's not dissimilar to this shawl, but that's okay. And what happened was I finished it. I finished my first ball of yarn, which was, let me just grab the ball band, which was 100 grams. Is that right? 150 grams maybe. Maybe it was 150 grams the first ball, which I finished and decided it was too small, so I bought another 100-gram ball to make it bigger. It's not as drapey as this one. This one's a lot softer, this one's a lot scratchier, but this is sock yarn, and I shouldn't have made it in sock yarn, I don't think. Well, I say it's sock yarn. This is sock yarn as well. This is 75% wool, it's 25% polyamide, so I think it's the wool content that's making it a little bit more scratchy. Whereas the straight piece whirl, I think, is a cotton mix. Anyway, so this is a pattern, but it's called the Trillium Shawl by Elizabeth Davis de Jerez. Not quite sure how you pronounce that. And I can't remember if it was free or not. It's got Cascade Yarns written all over it, which to me tells me it was a Cascade Yarns pattern. So it possibly was free on their website. I'll have a look and I'll write it down below whether it's free or not. That's if I can still find it. It might not be available anymore. But that was the picture of it there. So obviously they've blocked it. It's lovely and open, so I'll be blocking. I should have said, actually, I didn't bother blocking this because it was big enough already, and I couldn't be bothered. I didn't bother blocking this either because, again, it was big enough and I didn't want it any bigger. So sorry, that was just a little blocking interlude. So that's my Trillium shawl, which will be my Cracking the Whip segment. So next time I'll have some progress on that. So I'm going to pop that in my trolley here of whips to work on. In fact, no, I'm going to put it in a little whip basket of its own. I bought these baskets in IKEA. They're like £1 each or something. And I just find them really handy for just popping a whip into. So pop that in there. There we go. That's all my whips, I think. Yeah, that's all the whips, isn't it? And then that's the Cracking the Whip segment. So we're going to bring that back. And hopefully next episode I'll have worked on that shawl a bit more and progressed it. What I'll do is I'll put in a stitch marker where I'm up to currently, so that then you can see my progress between now and next time I see you. Right, stash enhancement. Cup of tea needed. Hang on. So, I have got a considerable stash, as you can see here and here, and this is not even the half of it. This is a small percentage of it. I hold my hands up. I admit I've got a craft supply collection addiction, shall we say. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Buying yarn at a faster rate than I can use it up, which is a problem, but anyway, it's not the end of the world. There are worse things to be addicted to, aren't there, don't you think? So I couldn't pass up the opportunity of going to this de-stash event yesterday with my friend. So it was in a little local village, in the village hall, and it was advertised as a de-stash event, and you had to pay £1 to enter, which, I mean, that's nothing. And then you bought the de-stashing items from the various vendors, and the money that the coffee and teas and things available as well, cakes. And the money from all that was raised went towards the church roof fund or something. And then I think the vendors kept their own money, that the things they'd sold. So we went along hoping it was yarn de-stashing. Actually, it was a lot of fabric. So I'll just grab the fabric that I bought and I'll show you what I bought. So this was all dirt cheap. I'd say a couple of pounds for a yard of fabric. So I bought this lovely flamingo one. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Yeah, that was a yard of that. So I'm going to make some kind of bag with that, I think. I'm going to make bags with a lot of these. Then I bought this lovely Christmas one with these little reindeer. Oh, look, they're so cute. And I bought this red one as the lining, but for this green one. So I thought they were lovely. And I bought this black piece here, which is just black polka dots, which I thought would be good for lining bags. I bought this piece here, which was an old curtain, which I just thought it was very pretty fabric. And I bought this green one. I thought that would make a nice lining as well for something. And this pretty check one. So I thought they were lovely. And they were all just like random offcuts. So really bargainous. Pleased with those. In terms of yarn, I got 4 balls of Starcraft Special DK in parchment, and I use a lot of parchment for joining for blankets and things. Oops, and they were being sold at £1 each, and normally they're about £2.50, so that wasn't too bad. I got 4 balls of that, and then I've also got, hang on, sorry, I'm all over the place today. Got this yarn here, which is a really mystery one. It says it's hobby tea time yarn, and it says it's acrylic. That's been winding into cakes. Don't know how much of it there is. Looks like it's probably, oh, this is 132 grams. So I thought this would make a nice cowl. It's very soft, lovely soft yarn. I just thought the colours were really pretty. So I thought that would make a nice cowl. Sorry about the rustling. That's that one. I then have bought a new cross stitch kit, which is this little pumpkin kit here. Which I thought was very sweet, and I must do that this month, so it's done for pumpkin season, as it were. Oh, I can smell something really nice. Oh, I'm smelling something that smells like cake. Oh, that's kind of just wishful thinking, I think. So yeah, my little pumpkin cross stitch. I bought that little kit. That was off Vinted. I don't know if you have Vinted in the US. Vinted is a bit like eBay. Historically, it was used for clothes. But now it's everything. It's yarn, craft supplies, you name it, they sell it on there. It's like a second-hand site, so this was sold second-hand to me, but obviously it's not been opened or anything. It's a brand new kit. Also off there, I bought this book, 201 Crochet Motifs, Blocks, Projects and Ideas, and it's just got loads of squares with different motifs in them. So the first chapter is all flowers. You can see all the flower squares, and then it goes into lace squares, or lace patterns, and then it goes into alphabet letters. It's got all the letters of the alphabet, so that's quite good. And then we have different shapes like stars and hearts and so on. It's kind of like there's a Celtic knot there. Different ideas. And then it's got a section at the end. It's got like what they call pictures. So there's a sheep, there's some grapes, there's a tiger, a little handbag. Really fun motifs. Oh, look, a little Scotty dog. So yeah, really sweet. And then it's got geometric ones, and it's just, yeah, got loads of ideas. And then I've got at the end some projects to put them together. You can see, so there's like a green scarf with a sheep on it. Isn't that cute? So yeah, really, really nice book of that. I think I got that for about £3. It retails at £14.99, and that's by Melody Griffiths. So 201 crochet motifs, blocks, projects and ideas. Melody Griffiths. So that's my part of my stash enhancement. The other book I bought was this cross stitch book, which is this magical cross stitch designs, and I just thought it looked really fun. It's split into two sections. So the first section is like ideas for what you can use the pictures for. So like there they've got bags and little bags and things. They've got picture frames, a birthday card, and then at the back they've got all the charts, which are all the back of the book. But yeah, really, really lovely pictures. So I particularly liked a couple of things. I'll just find them for you. I liked, and they've got a section called Hocus Pocus, and I really liked that there. What does it say? Stir up some magic. So like on a tile. I thought that was lovely. Magic happens on like a bookmark or a table runner. I thought it was lovely. So they've done it like a mini hanging, they call it. So it's like a wall hanging. So I mean, I don't know how big that would be, but you could make it into a bookmark probably. It's not going to be a table runner. It's not going to be big enough. That's a really silly thing to say, but you know what I mean. And they've got like Christmas ones there. They've got little Christmas Robin Fairy, and the other one I liked was, yes, these ones here, the dragon and the unicorn. I thought they were gorgeous, just beautiful colours. Love them so much. So I might do some of those as cross stitch at some point. But yeah, it's got that dragon on the front, doesn't it? Oh, and the unicorn on the back. So obviously that's what appealed to me. And then I bought some yarn off my local yarn store. I'll just grab, not yarn, fabric from my local fabric shop. My desk is such a mess now. Oh my god. Just move that out of the way. Move that out of the way. Oops, sorry, wobbling you there. That's a little slurp of tea. That'll make everything better. So I bought this fabric. I think it's Lewis and Irving, but look at this. Oh, look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? Little squirrels. And on this lovely kind of mauvey background, and it's got all these toadstools. Very autumnal. So I bought that to make a bag with. And then I got a bit carried away with contrasting fabrics. So I bought this orange flowery one. This kind of speckledy one. You see? And this lovely one with little woodland creatures on it. That was really pretty. And a couple of contrasting ones for that. So this lovely kind of leafy pattern, which I thought was quite interesting. And then this lovely autumnal one here. So this is my collection of autumn fabrics. So I need to actually do something with those and make them, sorry, I'm wobbling you again, make them into bags. And then I bought some at Hobbycraft. So I bought this block here, which was really good. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fat quarters for a tenner, which I thought was really good value. So that was that one. And then I bought this one, with the Highland cows. Really cute. See? So that was really, really fun. I bought that one, that was like £7 or something. So yes, that's all my autumn fabric. I'll just put all this back in the box again. I bought some wadding and some interfacing as well. So that's all in that box, ready to be made up into some bags at some point. I must dig my sewing machine out. In fact, one I didn't get was thread. I need some new thread. Let's just pop that there. Oh my god, the mess. So if you made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you get to find out when my other videos come out, and give us a like or a comment. I always love reading your comments and I'll always respond to them, so that would be lovely. But yeah, I really appreciate you being here and giving up your time to watch me on the internet today. So thank you very much indeed, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye.